Welcome back to another episode of Geeks Who Drink. Um, we are going to be talking about a lot today. We got a lot of shit to unpack, and we've got a lot of, to quote the Australians, people being dodgy. We've got a lot of that going on. Intel, or not Intel, Nvidia being the number one suspect and basically should be tried for acts of heresy. Um, they are, and I know if you guys have been paying attention to like the WAN show and Linus Tech Tips and Hardware Unboxed and Bitwit and Jay's 2 cents and all those guys, they're kind of already talking about it, and they have been talking about it because they've been kind of passing this one around the internet quite a bit. So we finally decided that we were going to wade in here and we were going to look at it and we were going to see what was going to happen. And I purposely waited till today to see if Nvidia would backtrack their statement and make things right with the with this creator in particular. Hardware Unboxed is the creator. If you guys haven't been following it, he got this very strange email from Brian Del Rizzo, the head of global PR for NVIDIA. Now, we're going to read the story, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. And we'll just kind of leave this up to you guys. Okay, we'll let you guys make your decisions and all of that. We're not going to do that for you. We're just going to walk you through why this is pissing us off so much. Because it really is. It's pissing me off. It pisses me off because it's ridiculous.
Grind 5 years.
Okay, Peter. A few days ago, the Australian YouTube channel Hardware Unboxed has received it would be past tense, had received a communication from Nvidia in which it officially banned them from receiving hardware to be reviewed in the future, as its editorial line seems not to sufficiently highlight ray tracing features. Okay. Hi, Steve. We've reached a critical juncture in the adoption of ray tracing, and it has gained industry-wide support from top titles developers, game engines, APIs, consoles, and GPUs. Okay, good for you. You want a medal? As you know, NVIDIA is all in for ray tracing. RT is important and a core to the future of gaming, but it's also one part of our focused R&D effort on revolutionizing video games and creating better experiences for gamers. The philosophy is also reflected in developing technologies such as DLSS, Reflex, and Broadcast that offers immense value to customers who are purchasing a GPU. They don't get free GPUs, they work hard for their money, and they keep their GPUs for multiple years. That right there, that is the most patronizing sentence I have ever heard. Of course people work hard. Of course they don't get them for free. And as far as the review samples are concerned, you are giving them to have an unbiased opinion to make people buy your product. Do you not understand that? Marketing and giving this out to a publication, now you don't have to give it out to them. You don't have to. You have that choice. But you realize that if you want to sell something, you have to give them something to test. You have to give them something to look at. You have to give them something to work with. You have to give them something to sell the public. Therefore, you partner with these channels. You give them GPUs to test and to test unbiasedly. So that way the customer gets a full review of a product that they could potentially want to buy.
Yep.
You're not bestowing them with free goods to make them think good about you. That's not how this works. That just drives me nuts. Despite all this progress, Your GPU reviews and recommendations have continued to focus singularly on rasterization performance, which is the biometric on which all GPUs are currently being tested, because ray tracing has not permeated all games.
Moving on.
And you have largely discounted all of the other technologies we offer. Also, I will include the screenshot that was taken by I can't remember the guy's name. Forgive me, I cannot remember your name, but you did capture a very, very good screenshot. And I will tell you guys to go out and find it, and it has something to do with DLSS. That's all I'm saying. Hold on, where was I offering? It is very clear from our from your community commentary that you do not see things the same way that we, gamers, and the rest of the industry do. Okay. How dare you presume that all gamers are drinking your Kool-Aid? How dare you? And the rest of the industry do. Our Founders Editions boards and other NVIDIA products are being allocated to media outlets that recognize the changing landscape of gaming and the features that are important to gamers and anyone buying a GPU today, be it for gaming, content creation, or studio and streaming. Hardware Unboxed should continue to work with our add-in card partners to secure GPUs to review. Of course, you will still have access to obtain pre-release drivers and press materials. That won't change. We are open to revisiting this in the future should your editorial direction change. Brian Del Rizzo, Director of Global PR, GeForce. That entire email, top to bottom, reads as ramblings of a man who has absolutely no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
It reads as if it's a press statement. You know what I mean? It reads as if this was intended to leak. It reads as if this was something that he was supposed to tell everybody because it was supposed to be a warning shot.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm saying? Now, you see, I have always had the firm held belief that NVIDIA really is the empire. It is Darth Vader. They are the living embodiment of the current Darth Vader. And
okay, I still think Intel's Darth Sidious, but we'll go there. But okay.
But the whole problem that I've always had is that NVIDIA has always made really, really, really good graphics cards. So you can't discount them. They still make a lot of really, really good stuff. Yes, ray tracing is a great technology. The synthetic light generation and synthetic reflections that they can make with RTX is amazing. I will give it that. It is a very, very, very good piece of technology. DLSS, like I said, makes mortal equipment look really good because it is a very good technology. But as far as I can tell, it hasn't been worked into every title. And yes, they are working to partner with studios, and they are partnering with studios. CD Projekt Red would be one of them. And we're not gonna totally unpack that whole Cyberpunk deal because it's just depressing. And the fact that, you know, now they've had to issue refunds and all that, but we'll get to a portion of it later. But as I've been saying this entire time, NVIDIA makes good GPUs. That is why you cannot discount them. We all, to some extent, most of us probably use them because they are good GPUs. You cannot argue with that point. But we all have to take into account the fact that NVIDIA is still a multi-billion-dollar organization that goes across the world. You could even argue probably trillions now. They might be crossing into trillions.
I wouldn't go that far yet. If you're talking about revenue, cost, I would say cost. You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But this entire situation with Hardware Unboxed, just it looks and reads like a shot across the bow to everybody. That's just the way it looks. It looks like this was meant to be talked about. It looks like this was meant to do what it did, which was scare everybody. But then everybody as a whole went ahead and said, "No, fuck you. We're not going to listen to you. Get away from us. Don't ever do that again, because if you do, we will fight back." And that's exactly what I wanted to see. And that is exactly what happened. So everybody, round of applause for Linus Tech Tips. Round of applause for Jay's 2 cents, Bitwit, anybody who, came to this guy's aid and basically made this a huge deal. And made it a huge deal and made every little bit of it total bullshit and basically made them walk it back. So thank you. We appreciate it as consumers, as gamers. We appreciate you guys coming in and saying, hey, this is bullshit. Don't you dare do that to us again. Or don't worry, we will walk away. Yep. But the other thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this whole situation is I want to hear what you have to think of it, Matt, because you did have some pretty fiery opinions before we started recording.
I did, and but a lot of what you're saying is what I was ranting about. I think that is totally being a hypocrite to some degree because of what's going on now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I do applaud them. I mean, it had public shaming first, but I do applaud them for apologizing.
Yep.
I do applaud them for that. But, dude, this goes on too many times. It's like, can we not share our opinions at this point anymore? I just feel like companies are getting too much power. If you give out your products to review, you have to get blowback. You do. I mean, it's a two-way street. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. You have to understand that the reviewer may not like the product. Therefore, the reviewer may not speak kindly of the product because they had other expectations for it. And they are instructing, well, maybe not really instructing, but they're informing the buyer. They're informing the public. That is their duty as a reviewer, is to keep an open and consistent mind on what the viewer and what their community is looking for. Therefore, they have to kind of take their opinions, their personal opinions, and throw that out and look at a product accurately and without any pre-existing notion of it. And that's that's just the truth of it. You can't. Yeah. Just because you're telling somebody, okay, here's a GPU for you to review, you can't just say that, oh, well, it's charity. How they are reviewing a product that you want to sell to the public. If they lied to their viewers, they would not have a business. That's just what it is. They would not be in the business that they are in. No. So we'll continue with the story here because it basically affirms what everybody already knows. And it basically just makes them look like bigger assholes. The problem is that when a hardware manufacturer sends free preview products to review, it is not simply doing charity or an act of favor, but is commissioning, in all respect, a real work of the reviewer that includes study and learning the new technology or product to be reviewed, preparation and execution of tests and benchmarks, analysis of results, writing the article or recording the video, reviewing the article or editing the video, publication of the review in time for the end of the embargo imposed by the manufacturer. All this process can take days or weeks of work, which far exceed economically the value of the product shipped. Certainly, the manufacturer can freely choose with whom to collaborate, like I said before. They do not have any right. They do not have to send him anything. I could start a channel tomorrow. I could start a tech review channel tomorrow. Need to take a sip. I could start a review channel tomorrow and contact NVIDIA and say, hey, I'm a review channel. Send me free stuff. They're probably going to come back with, how many viewers do you have? And if it's less than 1 million, go away. That's totally up to them. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to send anybody anything. Just because you start a channel doesn't mean you just automatically get it. That's not how this works. You have to build up a fan base. You have to have something that they could... You have to have a marketable number. That's how this works. Yes, that's
do all the hard work.
That's how this works. Freely choose with whom to collaborate and send the product samples. But this does not imply that the independent collaborator must share the editorial lines of the manufacturer's marketing department. You see, that's that right there, the most important part. Because of these unholy decisions, a person's credibility and years of work can be seriously questioned. Not forgetting the economic impact that such a decision can have on a person who has been chosen to do this job. You see that right there, that paragraph right there, that says everything that you need to know. Because, or no, that's not a paragraph. That's a sentence. God, there's a lot of commas in there. Maybe try not rambling on. You see, I know. And that's the whole thing. A reviewer should never share exactly the same feelings or exactly the same opinion as the manufacturer. Should never do that. A reviewer should never, ever do that. Because if they do, they will, in some ways, kind of taint the product, as it were. Because if they share every single opinion of the manufacturer, that's not really a review. That's just more marketing.
It just seems like they get paid to say whatever script they have to say.
Exactly, and that's the part of it that pisses me off, is that NVIDIA wants everybody to get on their little boat, and I mean, it's ridiculous because there's no good reason for it.
No.
And as far as I'm concerned, I think everybody that came to Hardware Unboxed's defense, and everybody that helped him out, and everybody that got the word out there, they're the real MVPs here. So, I do believe that NVIDIA, like I said, I think NVIDIA is the new Darth Vader. Intel is still the leader of the Sith, but NVIDIA is the new Darth Vader.
Okay.
And I don't mean that from a technology standpoint, and I don't mean that from like an actual buyer's standpoint. Because the two of us over here, we are firmly AMD users in our computers, and I have freely and totally admitted that before. But as I have said in the past, I have had Intels in the past. I have used them in my builds before. I am not against using an Intel. It's just right now, Intel is not making anything that is exciting me. It doesn't fit what I want my hardware to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm not picking AMD because I'm some kind of toxic fanboy, and in which case, if you are, you need to go away and stop doing that, because you're not creating competition and you're not making it better for everybody else. You're just over there being annoying. And as far as I'm concerned, I just don't see any reason why we should have to worry about it. Yeah, why we should? But anyways, we are sitting here right now, just waiting for the fallout. I want to see what happens with Intel, or not Intel. I want to see what happens with NVIDIA when their card restock comes out. I want to see if some people maybe decide to make a change. So.
Yeah. I mean.
So. But we're going to move it on because we've been talking for 20 minutes about this and we need to move it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it on to Intel. Intel falls on report Microsoft plans to design own chips for PCs and servers. Oh, goody. Intel dropped 6.3% on Friday following a Bloomberg report that Microsoft plans to design its own chips, possibly for both its Surface PCs and as well as servers. Intel has famously had a long-running partnership with Microsoft. Commonly referred to as Wintel, as the primary processor maker for Windows PCs, because silicon is foundationally building. I'm struggling this morning for some reason, because silicon is a fundamental building block for technology. We're continuing to invest in our own capabilities in areas like design, manufacturing, and tools, while also fostering and strengthening partnerships with wide ranges of chip providers, Microsoft spokesperson Frank Shaw said in a statement. The report comes a month after Apple started selling PCs using its own M1 processor instead of Intel chips. The Microsoft chips are reportedly based on technology from ARM. Oh boy, which NVIDIA is in process of acquiring from SoftBank. What a shock. Darth Vader, controller of the fucking Empire, is making all kinds of deals to try and worm their way into all these different processes.
It's all like, yep, Darth Vader's they're betraying Intel.
Apple's chips for its iPhone and Amazon's server chips are also based on ARM's instruction set. What a shock. Which is distance. Distance? I know. A distinct, which is distinct from the x86 technology Intel primarily uses. Microsoft is more likely to use its chips for servers than its Surface PCs, according to Bloomberg. Earlier this month, a senior Microsoft executive did not reject the idea that Microsoft would build its own first-party chips at a conference. The partnerships that we have through this realm, from the OpenAI efforts that we have to our relationship with Intel and ARM developments that we have certainly point to the need that we have certainly, you mean points to the need to have advanced capabilities here, whether we build it first party or have an ecosystem of third-party partners. It's sort of yet to be disclosed. Justin Althoff, Executive Vice President of Worldwide Commercial Business at Microsoft, said during an appearance at the UBS Global Technology, Media, and Telecommunications Conference on December 8th. That sounds like a ball. Windows certainly runs on ARM-based... Windows currently runs on ARM-based PCs using usually with chips made by Qualcomm. Microsoft introduced the Surface RT tablet in 2012 that contained an ARM chip from NVIDIA, although the device was discontinued in 2013. Last year, it introduced the Surface Pro X containing a Qualcomm ARM chip, and it came out with an updated version of the device this year. Okay, we're not going to go through their entire ARM thing, but I mean, is it surprising to me that Intel is kind of faltering a little bit, since everybody is kind of starting to realize that Intel has done no security updates to their architecture. They've done no security updates to their built-in software for the chips, and Intels are extremely easy to bypass.
Yeah.
Does it surprise me that companies have started to make this decision to go to their own silicon? No. No, it does not. Is it the right move for a lot of these companies? I think for Microsoft, it probably is, because Microsoft has been struggling in the mobile department ever since, the Surface became kind of a joke. Their their Windows phones were kind of a joke.
Yep.
A lot of their proprietary software was a joke. I mean, Windows hasn't done anything that great since the invention of Windows. You could argue that their gaming was like a really big deal in the early 2000s all the way up until 2010. You could argue that they were coming out with a very long string of fairly decent games. But, typical, you hire an idiot and you get bad results. Xbox Series
Well,
Xbox Series X has been kind of a fucking, shit show since day one.
yeah, I mean, no offense, but I mean, Microsoft famous words at the time, the CEO, when, Steve Jobs said the iPhone's going to be revolutionize, the world, and they basically said no to it.
How wrong you are. I just, yeah, I don't get it. I do
That
not
was
get it.
their downfall of dominance at that point.
Yep, pretty much. As soon as Steve
Microsoft
Jobs,
took over.
yeah, as soon as Steve Jobs realized that mobile technology was going to own the market, it was pretty much over, because, and he's not wrong. Mobile tech has kind of been ruling the market.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's what makes Apple its money.
so, yeah. All right. So, next subject. We need to find another subject. And this comes from PC Gamer. NVIDIA just signed a multi-million-dollar deal to create a whole load of RTX 30 series GPUs. The new Samsung deal, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially put in a far stronger manufacturing position than its AMD rivals. NVIDIA's new GPU manufacturing deal could make it a lot easier to buy a new GeForce graphics card in the new year. It has been reported that in the Korean news media, that Jen Sun and Co. has just signed a second contract with Samsung to produce GPUs worth hundreds of billions of won.
Yeah, I was gonna
Woon?
say don't say dollars.
Is it won or is it woon?
Uh, dude, I don't.
I'm gonna say won. Hundreds of billions of won. The reference 100 billion won is about $90 million. So we're not taking a drop in the Silicon Ocean either. Nvidia initially contracted Samsung to produce its RTX 30 series cards and has so far unleashed the 8 nanometer based GPUs in Nvidia's RTX 3080, 3090, 3070, and 3060 Ti trim. The question now is, what is the second contract? When is the second contract being put in place for? There has been speculation that it might herald Samsung's involvement in potential Super Series of cards, but this feels a bit premature. It is possible, however, that with more mainstream GPUs and the tantalizing prospect of a 20 gigabyte RTX 3080 Ti on the horizon, those could be the chips Nvidia is paying for with the latest contract. You could also argue that it might also now be going public with tasking Samsung to create GPUs for its upcoming mobile cards, so set to launch in early 2021. We are expecting a virtual CES to be virtually awash with virtual demonstrations of RTX 30 series gaming laptops after all. But I would be very surprised if those mobile and mainstream GPUs aren't part of the original deal between NVIDIA and Samsung from earlier in the year. I guess it's possible Nvidia has been trailing Samsung with the first batch of chips, but there were recent reports suggesting that it was considering switching to TSMC for the rest of the lineup. But Nvidia wasn't sure if using Samsung's 8 nanometer node would be odd to test its fabs with the most important GPUs in a couple of generations. Given the fact there aren't enough RTX 30 series cards out there in the wild to satisfy the unprecedented demand for the currently exists for them. Unprecedented demand which currently exists for them. It would make sense for Nvidia to try and bolster that supply, grabbing a whole lot more manufacturing capabilities from its GPU foundry. Samsung would therefore be a real smart move. And yes, it would. So far, Samsung actually hasn't had a problem. They haven't totally had a problem with this. And I really don't have a problem with it either, to be 100% honest with you. If this is just Nvidia basically paying them in advance for heightened production in the near future, I don't see a problem with it. Because
They need this, because they're on their own pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. And that's fine with me. I just, for me, I just don't see a reason for this to be as big a deal as people are making it. Mostly because right now, the way the world sits, I don't know if I'm ready to say that we're going to not experience a GPU shortage again. I do think that we will see another GPU shortage, but I don't know if it will be this year or if this coming year or if it will be later in this coming year. Because if they're ramping up production now, hopefully we'll see restock by February.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say because of the vaccines, I don't think I'm saying later, like they were saying, spring or summer.
Okay. You're thinking
This early yet. I would say vaccines take a bigger hit. Because a lot of these people are also, distributors are trying to get these vaccines out to other countries. So I don't really see it being that fast yet.
well, I'm trying to be as optimistic about this as possible.
You know what I mean? I don't think
Yeah.
there's enough to go around.
No, and I'm not arguing with your point. I think your point is valid, but I'm just trying to be as optimistic as possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting really sick and tired of every story I read is somebody complaining about a fucking scalper.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible because I'm tired of feeling like an unappreciated customer. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to ask you about that because I've been wondering too. Do you think after, let's say, this pandemic is finally over, we don't hear massive, people getting sick, whatever. Do you think it'll just be as bad? Do you think you'll hear a lot about scalpers to this degree next year? Or do you think it'll be where stores open, it's not as online as much? You know what I mean?
I still think we're gonna hear about scalpers as much as we have.
Okay.
I still think it will be as prevalent as it is now. I really do. And that's not just a pessimist speaking here. That's because look at all of the stores that have gone under, look at all the restaurants that have gone under, and look at all the
Stay open, though.
yeah,
I don't understand.
there's nothing
I don't understand that, but go on.
I don't either, but let's just say this. There's nothing suspicious going on here, so we're not going to talk about it as I use air quotes and wink wink. But no, I do think scalpers will. I think scalpers will take a permanent place in the world. Not only because I think Nvidia liked it, I do think they liked it. And I do think that them doing what they did with only creating so many of them ahead of time and then releasing them to the world, I think whoever modeled their sales predictions is a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
You dropped the price on everything by $200 or more. Did you not think that people would want that?
Yep.
I just...
Especially the performance. The performance, I don't understand because they already gave out the performance before the price.
Yep.
So
Yep.
So that part I didn't understand.
Well, yeah, and especially the whole thing is this though. Like for me, the whole thing is this. Okay, the 20 series was basically a beefed up 1080.
Yep.
That's basically what it was. It was just a beefier 1080 on a little bit different architecture. And then Ampere comes out, and it's a 360. It's a totally new deal. Literally totally new. You didn't think that people would want that?
Yeah.
Insane. Totally insane. But yeah, no, we got to move on before the two of us just lose our minds. And then now we have a totally new one here. Intel debuts world's fastest SSD, the PCIe 4.2 Optane SSD P5800X. Wow, that's a mouthful. Intel is taking Optane to the next level with the SSD P5800X, which is billed as the fastest SSD in the world. The next generation Optane SSD leverages the PCIe 4.0 interface, second gen Optane media, and a new SSD controller to deliver truly astounding performance and endurance specifications. Compared to the first generation Optane DCP 4800X, Intel says the 5800X offers an impressive 3 times performance improvement in random read-write workloads, peaking at 1.5 million 4K random IOPS, and 3 times more sequential performance at a peak of 7.2 gigabytes per second. Holy shit. The drive also delivers up to 4.6 million IOPS and random 512-bit workloads, useful for certain types of caching workloads, and up to 1.8 million in IOPS in mixed workloads. Additionally, the drive offers up to 67% more write endurance than the first gen P4800X, and now peaks at a staggering 100 drive writes per day. Oh my God. That also makes it the most endurant SSD on the market. For perspective, there are very few regular NAND based SSDs that offer even 1 or even 10 writes per day of endurance, meaning the P5800X is truly in a class of its own, which is true. And I've always said this. If you're going to totally do your entire PC on SSDs, you have to have at least one Optane. Because Optane is the most powerful one out there. And like I said when we were talking about this before, I'm not an Intel hater. I understand that there's a lot out there that Intel has that others don't. But as far as their silicon is concerned, I'm not always a believer in it. But with their hard drives and SSDs and stuff like that, man, the way they got those things going, it is amazing. I have had 1 or 2 Optane drives in my life. I've had 1 or 2 Optanes, all right? And when I did put them in my PCs, it was amazing. I do like Optane. Optane is a great tool. It's a great SSD. It's worth the money. They're far more expensive than everyone else, but it's worth it because its read-write performance and its just daily use performance is amazing. The drive leverages Intel's second-gen Optane media, which comes with 2 DeX layers instead of 1, and a new PCIe 4.0 x 4 SSD controller that allows the company to finally break the shackles of the PCIe 3.0 interface, which 3.0 wasn't bad. 3.0 was actually pretty good. That was a really good architecture. Everybody's moving to 4, but the only reason why they're moving to 4 is because the 24-pin graphics card setups are now starting to is it 24-pin or is it still 16-pin? No, it's 16-pin. The 16-pin express cable, or the 16-pin express ports are, they're starting to leverage the shit out of those too, which, you kind of have to have an SSD to keep up with it. And that's the thing about it, is that I don't think that those could handle it. You know what I mean? I don't think that the current run of hardware in some of these, it was far exceeding what 3.0 could do. 3.0 is good, but 4.0 is it's better. But like I said from the beginning, there just wasn't anything out there to leverage it properly.
Well, a lot of these companies want to move that on too. They want to move on to 4.0. So they're like, either you're going to be behind us and suffer, or you're going to be moving on.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've had stories about this where they want to move on.
But we're just going to continue on here. Intel isn't sharing the finer-grained technical specifications behind the P5800X's new PCIe 4.0 SSD controller. Still, we know that the drives will come in the tried and true U2 form factor in capacities of 400 gigabyte, 800 gigabyte, 1.6 terabyte, and 3.2 terabyte, making a healthy capacity increase that is more than twice the storage of the previous gen DC.
Did you have the 48X?
Yes, I did. I did have a 4800X. And I also had the gaming one too. The one that takes that PCI slot, or the PCIe slot, not the express slot, but those ones that are in between there. You know what I mean? The little stubby ones. I had one of those too, and that was actually a really good SSD. Man, that was good though. But it was expensive as hell. Holy shit. So yeah, I'm hold on, let's go into Newegg right now. I'm gonna go into Newegg right now. I wanna see if that is actually out in the wild yet. I don't think it is.
No, because it hasn't released the pricing yet.
Yeah, because I had the 905p. That's the one that I had. I had the 905p. And that thing back in the day was so freaking expensive. It wasn't even funny. But I still have it, and I've never used it on any of my AMD builds. But I kind of thought about it with this one. I kind of thought about digging it out and using it again.
Yeah. Rest in the story, it says that it's giving these new drives to their partners.
Yep. And that's...
Then they'll release it to the public.
Yeah. And I would actually like to get my hands on one, providing it's not $4,000. Yeah, I know. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they do. They do have the new ones out. Hold on.
3D story.
Wait, no, I'm wrong. This isn't one of the new ones.
This story is less than 5 days old.
I was just reading through the specs here, and yeah, I realized, no,
I mean, I'm
my
sorry,
bad.
whoever wrote this.
Yep, my bad.
Jeez.
My bad. I was reading through the specs, and I was like, oh shit, that's PCIe 3.0. Shit.
Because they even haven't released release. I don't think they even have a release date either.
Not surprising.
They don't have a price date. You know how much it's gonna cost them. They don't have a release date. So,
Yeah. No, my bad.
but
I got excited. I put the horse before the cart.
yeah,
Um.
let's finish this screen quick.
Oh, we're done already.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay. There's a little bit left, but if you don't, if you
Yeah. No, we're not gonna read about. We're not gonna totally read about the specifics.
okay,
Because the specifics aren't going to tell us anything until we get a chance to test it, or until we get a chance to get some reviews for it. So we can read all the press material we want, but unless we have like actual stuff to back it up with, like actual reviews, I don't really feel like reading on it. I don't really feel like reading on the specs. Plus, we covered all the important stuff, like all the read write and the duration and all that stuff. We already read on that, so. SSD controller maker considers price hikes. That's not surprising in 2020. Phison Electronics and Silicon Motion, two leading designers of SSD controllers from Taiwan, cannot get enough chips from their contracted manufacturers, according to the story from DigiTimes. The which that corroborates a report with a report that TrendForce published earlier this week. The two companies reportedly stopped offering quotes for new orders and are considering a 10 to 15% price hike for SSD controllers in Q1 2020. If SSD controllers get more expensive, this could somewhat offset the decline of 3D NAND prices, and that are projected to result in big savings for shoppers earlier next year. NAND memory is a commodity, and its prices largely depend on the balance of supply and demand. In contrast, controllers for solid-state drives and other storage devices that use flash memory are produced by contract semiconductor manufacturers. Given that foundries are overwhelmed with orders from virtually all other customers these days, it is not easy for SSD controller makers to place orders for extra units. Modern SSD controllers are made using fairly advanced process technologies, so their ongoing cost will depend on the high demand for production, and TSMC's rumored decision to terminate discounts for bigger clients with long-term contracts. Both Phison Electronics and Silicon Motion traditionally focus on so-called turnkey SSD solutions that include a controller, a firmware, NAND memory, and production service. Essentially, both companies sell entire SSDs that can be customized by their customers. If they increase quotes of their whole SSDs, then contrary to expectations, the TrendForce SSDs will get more expensive in Q1 2021. However, if the price hike will only affect controllers, the SSDs might still get cheaper next quarter. SSD controllers are a small part of the overall cost of a drive, while flash comprises the bulk of the bill of materials. So instead of going into this whole market report and everything, we're just going to stop it right there on that one. But no. But SSDs going up in price, not a fan. Because I remember when they were so expensive, you damn near had to mortgage a house to have one.
Yeah, but they did say that if it's only the controller, it might not, it might not happen.
It might not be so bad.
No.
I'm sorry.
The controller.
I'm sorry, but any
But
price
I
any price hike is bad now.
yeah, but hopefully it only affects the controller. Sorry.
It would be nice if it only affected the controller,
Yeah,
but I highly doubt it will.
I know.
But no, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of sitting back here just waiting for the world. I don't know. Right now, the way everything sits and the way the whole world is, I'm just done. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of sitting back, just going, oh, fuck. No more.
Millions of people, my friend. You and millions
No
of people.
more.
Yep.
I don't know how much more of this I can take. So, yeah,
I mean, hopefully it's cheaper. I agree with you. I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll be more expensive.
I totally believe you're correct. Totally believe you're correct. But forgive me for walking away for a second. But I'm going to go upstairs really quick, and I'm going to grab one of the parts that we were missing for this for this build that we're going to be doing. I'm going to go upstairs and grab it really quick, and then we're going to walk everybody through what we're going to make. And we're going to put specs here on the podcast, and then I'm going to take some pictures and post some stuff online and all that. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. You can go to the show sponsor, ecompcomputers.com, for price quotes and all kinds of other stuff. It's actually me and Matt that run the deal. So if you guys want to, if you're looking for a computer for next year, or you're just kind of, looking to upgrade your existing system or whatever, but you don't really want to do the work because you've done it all before, we can go ahead and build that for you and ship it to you with minimal effort on your side. So all you got to do is just tell us what you need and what you want, and we put it all together. So check it out, ecompcomputers.com. I will leave a link in the description of the video. Also, the other thing I wanted to talk about was I am currently working to try and get this show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Basically, get it in front of everybody's face. And that's actually taking a lot longer than I thought because there has to be a validation process and you have to go through an application and all that stuff. So it's a big deal. Big, long, boring deal that I have to take care of and all that. So, but give me one memento and I will be going upstairs and grabbing one of the final pieces. We're still waiting on a case. I haven't seen a change. In the delivery yet. Let me check it right now. Make sure everything is a go. Yes, let's track order. Okay, eBay, anytime. It shipped on Wednesday, December 16th. It has departed Edison, New Jersey today, so we will hopefully see it Monday. Estimated delivery date, eBay's estimated delivery date still hasn't changed. So hopefully Monday, probably Tuesday, especially if it can make it to the Midwest by today. If it can make it to like Indiana or Illinois, we'll see it. We'll see it by Tuesday. So, not worried. Not worried as much. What about our power supply deal? Did you get any updates on that? Because we're still waiting on the power supply.
Yeah, it's still in California.
Okay.
Probably later today or tomorrow, it'll probably be getting here. Maybe to Chicago. But it should be here by Wednesday, though.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to run upstairs and grab the processor really quick. So just un momento. You got anything else you want to tell anybody?
No, I don't. I mean, not really. That was what I had for today.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to open this thing on the show right now.
Okay.
Hold on, I got to get back in the chair here. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to tell you this. So, the graphics card that we're using is a 1660 Ti, right? Because I found one online for cheap, or cheaper, I should say. It wasn't really cheap. But, so, I go ahead. Third gen. Okay, so this is a 3600. Is it 36? Okay. So, what I did was I went online. Ooh, it's even a sealed in box, brand new one.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah. Sealed in box, brand new processor with a Wraith cooler. So, we don't have to worry about, teaching the kid how to keep his water loop clean. And we have, what do we have here? We have a Ryzen 5 3600. I did not go 3600X because the kid is still relatively new at this. So I didn't want to give him the opportunity to totally clusterfuck his system by not understanding how overclocking works. We will teach him that. We will get there. But right now, we just need to get his foot in the door. And it is not damaged at all. So shipping was good. They were not too rough on it. Just want to make sure it's seated in there properly while I seal this box back up. And yeah, so we have a Wraith cooler. We got the processor. Let's see if the cooler is damaged at all. Just want to be sure of this stuff, Just want to make sure. That way I don't have to sacrifice one of my water coolers. Ooh, good. It's the non-RGB one. Sweet. Oh, because, yeah, we're not putting any RGB lights in this thing. We are teaching this child early. RGB is the devil. I have done... Okay, let's... I don't want to sound too... I don't want to sound like too much of a dick about that, but I've done way too many RGB builds. I really have. I am tired of having to run miles and miles and miles of wire. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to find ways to hide it and trying to find ways to, stuff like that. I'm done, man. Like, it's just old. It's just getting really old. You know what I mean? Oh, did I just lose the sticker? Better not. Oh, damn it. I gotta find the Ryzen sticker. Or wait, no. I have Ryzen stickers. Yeah, we'll get him some of my good Chrome ones. But we're going to build the kid his PC, but we're not going to give him a keyboard. We're not going to give him a mouse. And we're not going to get him a set of headphones. Okay? He's going to have to get all that himself. Because I have no extras to spare. That is the one thing that I don't have extra of. I do not have extra keyboards. I do not have extra mice. I don't exactly have extra graphics cards that are functional right now. If my 5700 XT would have functioned out of the box, I wouldn't have bought a 1070 Ti. And then, of course, by the time I finally get the time to test it, it's out of warranty. Fucking 90 days or 90 minutes, whichever one comes first. But yeah, so no, we have a high quality processor that I think I'm gonna pre-assemble the board. I think I'm gonna pre-assemble the board today. so that way we don't have to totally worry about it. And then I'm gonna give him one of my Barracudas or one of my Firecudas.
Okay.
Because I have a Firecuda hard drive, which that's going to give him similar performance to a non NVMe SSD. Because those Firecuda HDDs are pretty good. And then I think that's about it, really. But yeah, we'll take pictures of everything. We'll put everything on the internet. We'll put everything out there for people to see. So, I mean, if you guys want to look at it or check it out or whatever, I mean, like, that's cool with us. Like, we'll put it out there and we'll tell you guys where to find it. And like I said, I'll leave links and stuff like that. So, but yeah. The next project on my list this weekend is I need to get my power supply switched over because I still haven't done that. Yeah, because I bought a Seasonic Focus 750.
Really?
Platinum. It's 80 platinum, baby. I know I wanted 1200, but then I kind of changed my stance on the whole water cooling thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like I'm gonna get a 3000 series for a little while. So, because there's none to be found, and I'm not paying scalpers. I just will not do it. Will not. And I mean, depending on availability, I might end up with an AMD. I don't know yet. But depending on availability, that might be the next thing, is AMD instead of an NVIDIA.
Yeah.
So we shall see. But do you have anything else you want to talk about today?
Not today, no.
Okay.
I was gonna leave some for tomorrow, so.
Yeah, we covered all the main hardware stuff, and we'll talk more about Cyberpunk tomorrow. Because there's some interesting research that needs to be done on my end. Because there is a lot of stuff to unpack as far as the hardware is concerned and why it's causing hardware bricking and stuff like that. And there's a lot to unpack as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then let's just talk about this first PC build we're doing, right? Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's just kind of walk people through the parts and pieces that we're going to be using. So we have an ASRock B550 Extreme 4, which that's actually a high quality board. I've been bench testing that. That's a really good board. We have Ryzen 5 3600, not a 3600X. We have, and this will actually boost up to 4.2, which isn't bad actually. That's actually really good. 6-core 12-thread. You might notice a little bit of a performance dip in certain games, but for the GPU that we have with it, it's perfectly fine. We have a 1660 Ti. It's a Zotac 1660 Ti, so it's already coming with a built-in boost clock anyways to it, so it is what it is. Shouldn't have any bottlenecking issues. We don't have too many cores or too many threads for the system. It's going to have a Firecuda SSD, or not an SSD, a Firecuda HDD, mostly because I didn't plan this out well enough. And then what else are we going to put in it? Oh, it's going to be in a Cougar Panzer case, the original Panzer, so it's kind of the thin one. It's kind of the thinner one. It's going to have a Wraith cooler on it, so it's going to have a totally stock cooler, which that's the whole thing. Like, we wanted to build a good PC for the kid, but we didn't want it to be so good that it's almost like, you know, I didn't want it to be so good that he wouldn't want to upgrade it. I wanted it to be good enough that he could play with it for a while and then upgrade it over time. You know what I mean? And then we're going to be using G.Skill 3600 megahertz RAM, and I think cast latency on that is 82020 or 182020. I think. I'd have to look at the box, but I know it's similar to the G.Skill Trident Neo that I have in my system. I think I actually just got a lower cast latency than you did when you ordered those. And then what else do we have in there? Oh, we've got what fans did you buy? Did you buy Noctuas or did you buy those Lian Lees?
No, I didn't.
What'd you get?
I got Corsairs.
Oh, okay. Non-RGB Corsairs?
Non-RBG, yes.
Woo! You the man.
Well, the problem is, I was looking at the Lian Lees, but the problem is, once again, you can only get them after January.
Okay. Yeah, and that's totally fine with me because all we're going to have to do is plug 3 fans in. Because it already comes with 3 fans in the front of the case.
And not to, like, get bitchy here, or complain, I'm not complaining, but the reason why we didn't have time is because he kind of just threw this at me a week before Christmas. Because somebody said they had all this already.
Yes, and I threw a monkey wrench in it when I ordered the wrong case. That was the problem. We were originally going to use the Panzer Max, but of course I ordered the wrong fucking case and ended up with that.
Yeah.
So
I worked with, because I didn't get the power supply that you were hoping for.
And I was going to, but there again, like I said, I ordered mine and then I checked back a week later because that Seasonic was going to be the one that we were going to put in there because he'd never have to worry about upgrading that for quite some time. It has a 10-year fucking warranty on it.
Yeah. I think this one does too.
Of course it does. It's Corsair, man. Corsair makes high quality power supplies. But I was going to go back and order that exact one. I check back a week later, they're gone. So then I'm starting back at square one again, going, okay, which one is a good replacement for this? And I'm searching through it, searching through it. And the only ones that are left are like the 1200 watts that are like $800. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending $400 on a frickin' power supply. Especially a first-time PC build. So then I just sat there. I sat on it and sat on it and sat on it. And then by the time I remembered to get back to it, because I've got some other projects going on, which I cannot tell anybody about, but I have some other projects going on. And I totally forgot about it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I forgot about it. And then it's like the 12th hour. And of course, I have to call you and say, hey, just, yeah. So, yes, I will take it on the chin. It was my fault.
Like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, we didn't get what you were describing. That's all I'm saying. Why I would like to get, because I did actually look at some of those Lian Lees, and they were actually really nice.
Oh yeah.
Once again,
that three fan system that they made, even you could even go up to 4 fans if you wanted to. That system that they made for that is ingenious. That's a really good system. But I mean, what else would you expect from the makers of the 011 Dynamic? But yeah, no, I just, like I said, I saw that and I realized what had happened and I went, oh crap. We're kind of screwed.
yeah.
So I went ahead and told you about it, and we got it handled. It's under control. But it's kind of not under control because we're kind of waiting. We're playing the waiting game here. So, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting on that one.
Yeah, the van should be here Monday or Tuesday for sure.
Okay. So everything except for the power supply will show up when we need it to.
Yes.
Okay. like I said, if I have to make a mad dash for it in the middle of the night on Wednesday, I will do it.
Honestly, I'll probably text you and say, just come, when you're coming, because you have to work, right, Wednesday? Or no?
Yes, I do. So yeah, send me a text.
I would just say come by and then pick it up.
Yeah.
It should be here by the time you get off.
Yeah, just send me a text in the morning. Let your parents know that it showed up, and then I will swing by and pick it up on my way home from work or something like that. Okay. Oh, so you'll be around? You'll be around Wednesday?
Yeah, dude. It probably because it'll probably deliver because they don't deliver in the morning here. That's not the guy's route. The guy's route's like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So so I'll be here by 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be here by 5.
Yeah, and I may not even go into work on Thursday because we're only going to be open till noon.
But I would come here on Wednesday though, just so you get it all done.
Well, exactly. But like I said, if I have to do a mad dash, like Wednesday night, I'm not home from work, get there and just be like, oh my God, I need it. And then just pick it up and
here you go.
Yeah.
Throw it at you.
Be like a freaking, it'll be like a,
go.
It'll be like a NASCAR pit stop. But yeah, no, I will swing by. I'll swing by when it shows up. Just give me enough notice, and I'll swing by when it shows up.
Yeah.
And then I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. But yeah. So, what day is this person going to be at your house? Is it going to be Christmas Eve or is it going to be Christmas Day?
Christmas Eve is a Thursday.
Yes.
What do you mean? Oh,
what day? Yes. What day are they coming down with Carrie?
It could be Wednesday night or Thursday morning. I'm gonna say Thursday morning.
Okay. I will have it ready to go by Thursday morning to present to him then.
Okay.
If the power supply shows up on time.
They leave and then they go to.
Yeah, they go up to the cities.
My brother-in-law they go to the other side, but.
Yep. So
is there anything else that you want to talk about? Because we're kind of getting off subject here.
Well, I mean, we pretty much covered everything about that PC so far, so we don't really have to worry about that. The next thing that I kind of wanted to bring up was we need to come up with some more build ideas. And I'm opening the floor to this one. I'm opening this one to the floor. So, I mean, if anybody wants to chime in and leave like a comment or something, just kind of let us know what's up. What you guys would like to see or what's cool now, because the two of us, as we've proven, are angry old men that don't like RGB. So maybe you guys have some new and improved youthful ideas that we should be looking at. But yeah, no, we're open to suggestions. But yeah, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was actually I have nothing. Yeah, I have nothing. And we're at an hour and 15, so we're good to go. Holiday suggestions. Let's talk about that real quick.
Let's do that tomorrow.
Oh, I was gonna do a short whiskey corner.
Yeah, let's do that tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Then we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so we are gonna sign off for the day, and then we'll be back tomorrow. And then I'll get this uploaded today, and then we'll have another show tomorrow, and then that'll be uploaded, and I'll actually have 2 shows tomorrow. 2 Drunks in the Wild will be back, and if you guys want to listen to that, you can listen to that. It's basically just me and my buddy just going back and forth about, we just go back about anything. We just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So, but yeah, so. Anyways, we will see you guys tomorrow.